Hello folks, this is Mike Jones and we're here to discuss the pre-exercise checklist. Now this is something we put together probably 10 years ago, and it's just kind of a reminder of all the things that you need to think of when you start developing exercise programs or you're about to put the client through an exercise session. Now we have 30 items here, and if you go over to MedXPROnetwork.com, you'll be able to actually download the pre-exercise checklist. We have a number of other checklists that we've developed over time for our MedXPRO network, but you'll be able to download this pre-exercise checklist. And again, this checklist is to be used just kind of to jog your mind and say, hey, there's some things I need to think about at the beginning of the exercise program or as I'm taking the client through exercise sessions. So this is part one. We're going to go over the first 5 of these checklist items. And the first one is, have you reviewed the protocol for this condition? Now, we produced a number of medical exercise and post-rehab protocols a number of years ago. The protocols give you some general guidelines and some milestones that you might use with regard to what exercises to use, a criteria, and also understanding the medical management aspects with these conditions. So have you reviewed that protocol first? Reviewing the protocol makes a world of difference in understanding where you're going with the client. And the protocols aren't etched in stone. They give you some leeway. So it's not like handcuffs, but they give you some leeway and they prevent things from falling through the cracks. Our second item is, what is the primary organ structure or activity affected by this condition? So with the client that's diabetic, or with a client maybe who's had an ACL reconstruction, or maybe a client that has a disc herniation. What is the primary organ, the structure, or the activity that's affected by the client's condition? Making sure you understand what that target organ is makes a huge difference when you're developing the exercise program. Number 3, what is the secondary organ, structure, or activity affected by the condition? Now notice we talked about the primary here. What's the secondary? And I think this becomes important because sometimes we forget about there's more than one primary structure that's affected. There's a secondary structure that's affected. We need to make sure we understand that. And 4th, what is the primary muscle group to train with this condition? So when you're looking at a client maybe with a shoulder dislocation, obviously we have to train the pectoralis major, but we also need to look at what is the secondary muscle group. So the secondary muscle group after the pectoralis major for the shoulder dislocator, maybe we now need to look at strengthening the rotator cuff also. So these are the first 5 items in our pre-exercise checklist. And again, these are just a group of questions that you need to ask yourself as you're progressing the client either through the program or you develop the exercise program just to keep you on track. And again, if you want to download this pre-exercise checklist, go to MedXPROnetwork.com. So we'll see you for our next segment. Please, again, go to MedXPROnetwork.com to get more information on our network, to download the checklist, and also to see the next in the series of videos. Thanks a lot.